Hey everyone, I'm Alex Lannen, Associate Broker with DOBI Real Estate. For the last 2 years, my family and I have been renovating this mid-century modern home, and today we're going to give you a first look. Come on in. The foyer looks very similar to how it was when we bought the house. The only thing we did was there were double doors at the front entry, and we wanted to bring more natural light in because it was a little bit dark. So we found this door sort of asymmetrical, which is typical for the mid-century modern style, with the glass panel on the side. And we actually did widen it just a smidge to allow more space for coming in and out. So here in the dining area, it actually used to be a formal living room. We ended up moving the kitchen to this side of the house, so we wanted this to be our dining area. And it was really important to us to preserve this original fireplace. You'll see later in the tour some pops of color, and it all kind of comes from the color here in the fireplace. And it's just a really nice focal point and brings a lot of warmth to our dining space. So one of our favorite features of this house are the large windows, very quintessential mid-century modern, the idea of bringing the outside in, and so we just really enjoy the views when we're eating dinner or working in the kitchen. Oftentimes we can see wild turkeys and deer out there, which our daughter loves, and we always have a lot of natural light. We weren't really planning to move when this home came on the market. We were living in a traditional, 1950s colonial. But I think we kind of always had our eye on mid-century modern opportunities, and when we started touring this house, we kind of just fell in love with it and could see our family here and the long-term potential. Favorite room in the house is our kitchen. It actually used to be located on the other side of this wall. And had it been the original cabinetry and such, we would have tried to preserve it and work with it. But because it had been totally gutted and redone in the late 80s, early 90s, it just all had to go. It didn't fit with the bones of the house. So that gave us the freedom to move and expand the kitchen. So we moved it here where we could connect it to our family area. We could take advantage of the beautiful views here and have just a really nice open flowing floor plan. Because our kitchen abuts the fireplace in the dining area, which has a lot of color and texture, we wanted to keep everything on this wall very simple. So we chose the whitish backsplash. We chose to hide our hood in drywall, and we chose open shelving instead of full cabinets for the uppers here because we didn't want it all to look too heavy next to the stone. Mid-century modern properties in the area kind of fall into two buckets. They've either been really well cared for and restored over the years, and they're a fortune because there is actually high demand and not very many of them, or they've been sort of neglected and they're more affordable, and that's the bucket we fell into. So a lot of work to be done. We just felt it was worth it, and it was a way to get into this type of property. One of the things you might overlook in coming down from the kitchen to the great room is the railing. It used to look very different, very heavy wood, again added in some later decade. We wanted something that you could see through to keep that connection between the kitchen and the great room. We went with black metal spindle to kind of pick up on the black hardware we've used in other areas of the house and the black window trim. And then we added this topper that goes all the way down like a waterfall of oak that matches the floor. Coming down the steps from the kitchen takes us into our great room. We didn't do a ton to this room, but there was this almost mission style, heavy trim about 3/4 of the way up the wall around the room. So we had that taken down. And then we had this, I'd call it a popcorn ceiling or stucco ceiling that I think was from the 70s. So immediately from the first time I toured this house, I looked up and said, that's gotta be tongue and groove. So we just went over it with the wood planks, and I think it turned out really well and fits better the vintage of the house. So this is our laundry room mudroom. This was the original laundry room mudroom in the house, so we kept it that way, just changed out the fixtures. With the cabinetry, we pulled the clay color from the fireplace you saw in the dining room area. and got a little more playful in here using the circular cutouts instead of hardware, and then using the terrazzo countertops, which we had custom made from a company in Detroit. So here is our walk-in pantry / beverage bar. It was important for me to have pantry space, real pantry space, which we didn't have in our last home, and a place to put those on-the-counter appliances like your coffee maker that just take up space in the kitchen. We used some really fun wallpaper made by also a company in Detroit, and also got a little more playful with the hardware. And then we tied in the walnut cabinetry here from the kitchen. I have taken so much from my experiences throughout this process into my business. I've learned a ton about how homes are constructed. I think I had good vision before in terms of walking into spaces and seeing what they could be for a family, but this just opened my mind even more and gave me some new opportunities to be creative and see things differently.